welcome to season 6 of the Red Letter Disciple. It's Zach Zinder, a co-host, with my friend Chris Johnson.
You are really high-pitched this season.
I know, I'm so excited.
It's really weird. All right.
But Chris, we just had 12 episodes of great guests that we just recorded, so I'm a little bit amped.
You are amped. You know, we talked to so many great people this season, and we invite you to download, to like, to comment on those.
Why are you talking so down? Be excited,
well,
brother.
I'm just trying to counteract your super high-pitchedness. All right, give me some nerds. Give me some of these. These are really good.
We got gummy clusters this season, which has been a bonus. But Chris, we got some really awesome episodes. What can people expect on the Red Letter Disciple?
We had such great guests. Cap Chatfield. He talks about how he just decided to take 4 months off and to try to influence the world by sharing messages of the kingdom of God. And he went from 1,000 subscribers, Zach, to over 1.1 million.
Boom, in a year.
We're gonna hear his story, and we're gonna find out how to be influencers so we never have to work again.
Oh, I don't think that's what we're gonna learn. But I think it's gonna be a great conversation. There's so many that wanna be a YouTube influencer. Heck, we even do the video on YouTube. And is that even okay to be a YouTube influencer?
Yes.
What are the pros and cons? Can it be an effective tool for discipleship? It's gonna be cool.
You know, one of the cons is you can't even go to Chipotle without being recognized. That's one of the cons.
Yeah, that's a real big con. Hey,
Who
we're
else?
talking to Michael Koulianos this season, author of the Jesus book, leader of the Jesus Image School and Church. And Michael's got a really powerful healing ministry where he has impacted literally millions of people's lives. We haven't talked a lot about healing. When you look at Jesus, which we try to do in this podcast through all the hilarity and fun, Jesus had a ministry of preaching, teaching, and healing.
Yeah.
And sometimes we focus so much on the preaching and teaching, we lose out on the healing. So we're gonna have a great conversation with Michael on the healing power of Jesus.
And he also started the Jesus School where he's training up the next generation of leaders. And we find out also that he's a pretty good golfer.
Yeah,
and he's
I am.
defeated you multiple times.
Way better than I am.
And then we have Kevin Suh.
Yeah, you like Kevin.
I like that guy.
That was a great conversation.
High energy. He's from California, and he was asking the question, how can I make an impact through business? And he started this really cool Sonic Cafe.
Yeah.
And it's a pop-up cafe where he combines just serving like Jesus, and he combines video games,
Sonic the Hedgehog,
and great food. And I can't wait for you to hear his story. He's a great guy, a lot of fun.
And we also, because he's in the food entertainment industry, we ask Kevin, what is the greatest junk food for a disciple of Jesus to eat? And so if you've ever been wondering, am I eating the right junk food as a disciple of Jesus? You're going to find out that answer. Hey, Chris, one of my favorite conversations, they're all great, but my wife and I are in a studying and research process for our next 40-day book called Giving Challenge. And an author, Greg Balmer, came onto the show. Through all the resources I've read, this really inspired me. So we're going to talk about generosity as a disciple of Jesus. What does it really mean to be generous? And can we flip the question? This is what I love.
This is
can
a
we
great
flip
one.
the question of how much do I need to give or have to give to how much do I need to keep? It's all God's anyway. And so Greg's a really great guy that is going to really help us see generosity in a new lens.
Well, and honestly, that was one of the moments where I kind of just stopped in my tracks. You know, so many people will ask, how much money should we give? Should we tithe? Should we just be joyful givers? and he asked the question, no, you're saying the wrong thing. How much should I actually hold on to? That's
Loved
a
it.
beautiful moment. Yeah.
One more episode that I want to highlight that you said stopped me in my tracks was our first one of the season, going to be coming out on February 27th when we talked with Richard Pope, who is a church planter, and we love that because we've both planted a church. But can you imagine, he planted a church just a couple of months after being diagnosed with terminal cancer, saying you've got 3 to 5 years left to live. And he planted it. Now we're 3 years into it. And so we share a lot about his journey and how suffering, I try to avoid it sometimes at all costs. I know some of our listeners do. How can suffering be a great discipler? What does he learn with the urgency of his days? And we're also going to get a report on what's going on in his life these days.
Yeah, so
cool.
Church planners out there that are listening to this, you go through a lot of stuff to get that to that opening service. Can you imagine, months before you're going to open, you get told you have 3 to 5 years to live, and he still did it, And it's a remarkable story. Check it out.
Yeah, and so if you didn't understand why I came into this little teaser talking in a high-pitched voice, it's because I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Because Red Letter Disciple, we back again for season 6, launching on February 27th on all your favorite platforms. I'm talking Apple Podcasts.
What?
I'm talking Spotify.
What?
You can watch us on YouTube.
What?
But whatever you do, follow, rate, subscribe, review.
Yeah. That helps so much. And we just want to thank you guys. In all seriousness, thank you guys so much for your support. We are super excited to be able to come together and do this. We love you guys, and we hope that you're getting a lot out of this podcast.
I've never heard you that serious.
Yeah, I know. I just really, I get emotional sometimes when I think about this.
Come on, baby. Season 6, starting February 27th.
Woo!